Hello, I'm Jake, aka HamStuff, and today I'm not testing a video game. I'm testing two cars in a video game. So, we'll begin with the Ford Mustang GT. Both cars are at Black Cat County, which I think is somewhere in America. So you can obviously see it's a road course. I selected that the track should be green. Despite watching Formula 1, I'm not entirely certain what that means, but I think it means it's got some rubber in it, like embedded, and that helps with the grip. Or it might mean the complete opposite, that there isn't any rubber embedded into it. It's definitely one or the other. So, what surprised me is the Mustang is actually quite understeery. I thought it'd be power sliding and crashing into everything from that. There's definitely some crashes later, stay tuned for that. Oop, then he crashed there. Expecting understeer, didn't get it. This is quite possibly my least favourite part of the track. It's all broken up and dusty and low grip. I can just like feel the car moving around. It's probably easy to get the braking wrong low. So the majority of the times I crashed are from me out-braking myself. It says practice and shows my position because I wanted to have other cars driving around with me. That didn't really work out since they just stayed in the pits for a little while I was driving around. I don't doubt there'll be someone on track, but it would take ages for me to catch up to them, or if they're quicker than me, ages for them to catch up with where I am. I love the sign that said going to brake. It's a wide variety of corners. I'm not fond of this hairpin, as you can see from me bumping into the barrier. And then it's followed by an even tighter hairpin. So I had a break for a minute, then came back. You don't need to see the pull screen for ages. One thing I only noticed when editing the video is that time still passes. Like the time of day changes, the shadows elongate, and the hot air balloon moves across the screen while everything's paused. Because your lap time and the other cars are paused. That's actually my least favourite corner. I crashed that, especially in the Mustang, more times than anywhere else. It's enticing, it looks fast, but it's not as fast as it looks. You'll end up understeering into a rock. So I said the Mustang was surprisingly understeering. Not always. It's easy to get a tank slapper if the rear steps out. I wish I had some footage of Gran Turismo to prove my point, but there the racing line changes for you. So if you're going slower, the way you accelerate and way you brake will be different. Here, it just seems permanent. It was green's accelerate, red is brake. What's yellow meant to be? Sometimes I feel the need to brake, sometimes I want to accelerate. You could be driving at 2 miles an hour and it'll still tell you to brake in the same place. Another thing I like about practice, rather than the free run mode, is you don't get a ghost car. I just found it incredibly distracting. That's probably the best I've taken that corner. I know I'm not here to review Assetto Corsa, but I want to mention it in comparison to Gran Turismo again. In Gran Turismo, there's some sort of, I don't know how you, there's mediation or delineate. Basically, in Assetto Corsa, the throttle is either on or off. The brakes are either on or off. In Gran Turismo, it depends on how hard you press the button. Like they had back in the days of Gran Turismo 3 on the PS2. This is 2 generations later, and they can't manage that. On those some calls I probably could have gone faster at. Oh, that's one of them. I don't think I ever crashed on that turn. Might be an odd thing to brag about. I've managed to not crash. I really crashed here. In this section, like the hairpins, I bumped into the barriers. Just a little kiss like that. A bit of a lingering kiss. Yeah, that basically destroyed my lap time. I was over 4 seconds ahead of myself at one point. It's interesting to see where you gain and lose time. So that's my 3 laps. I was gonna do 4. But this is what would have been my 4th lap. and it went a bit badly. So, now time for the Ferrari LaFerrari. It immediately sees a lot more oversteer heavy. I probably could have done that launch a bit better, but that was one of the best. So I crashed a few times. Just lighting up the rear end. So unlike in the Mustang, I almost never crash at this corner. It's more coming out of corners onto the straight. It is slightly understeering in some corners. Now, you get the steering goes slow over that bump. In Ferrari, it's not a bump, it is a jump, you just take off. This wasn't my favourite piece of track in the Mustang or the LaFerrari. You can see me struggling to keep control. It just wants to light up the rears and do a spinala. You can see it's very squirrely on the straights onto acceleration, and just a bit always steps out in the last phase of the corner. Now the Ferrari's 3 laps took me about as many days. The Mustang was a lot easier to drive. That took me a couple of hours. Okay, one question, what are these shadows doing? They're moving across the hillside as my car goes by. I'm not generating the light here, I'm just witnessing it. Okay, I do have my headlights on, but that's not why there's... Yeah, they're not that bright, the sun is up. So I'm not often on the racing line. The car's kind of difficult to handle. Sometimes I brake myself. Plus, for another comparison to Gran Turismo, the racing line changes depending on how fast you're going and where you are. This, it's just it may as well be painted onto the track, it never changes. Green, obviously accelerate. So I accelerate through this turn, slowly oversteering towards the outside of the corner. Red, just like the signs say, point brake. What's this yellow? What am I meant to do on that yellow? Sometimes I accelerate, sometimes I brake. jump again. I'm glad there's not a lot of damage in this. That would probably destroy the floor of your car in real life. Again, my totally favourite part of the track. I just can't get the power down at some points. Very squirrely for that section. One thing that would make it easier to put the power down is some manner of delineation between accelerating a knot or braking a knot. Because the throttle and the acceleration, the braking, they're always on or always off. Even in Gran Turismo 3. You could mediate how much throttle you want. I think I've already mentioned this, but I'm really tired. And I feel rough today. Ooh, that light kiss with the barrier. You just gently sails to the edge of the track as the rear steps out. Because either the front follows, or you spin. So that time, a small smooch from the barrier, I would call it, by understeering, despite it being a lot less understeering than the Mustang. It's actually the last thing. Okay, that might have been more than a kiss on the barrier. That's a full-on snog with the barrier. So despite the crash, well, not crash per se, interaction with a barrier. I'm actually over a second ahead on my best lap so far. I think I'm a lot closer to the racing line on this lap. I don't know, the low speed corners I'd say are a lot easier in the Ferrari. Okay, a bit of understeer there. So I'm constantly making tiny adjustments to the steering and the throttle, just trying to keep it in the straight line. Like in the Mustang, I didn't need traction control at all, but I'm much better with it off. Here, I had to have it on 4, at the maximum setting. Apart from when I was on, trying to get some heat into the tyres, just to get some more grip. So as the Mustang ended with a crash, the Ferrari's run seems to be gently slowing down. Although, speaking of crashes, I did have my fair share. Let's see some from the Mustang first. So this is the Mustang, go through that section, sort of, well in the Mustang it isn't a jump. So just go too far on the inside, hit the barrier, through me to the outside. Immediately you can tell something's wrong. The fact that I'm going backwards and trying to go forwards, because I have fewer rear wheels than I would like to. So this is a very Mustang style crash. I just did it right into a rock, but it was the LaFerrari. LaFerrari again. I had more crashes in this one, but they're often a lot less dramatic than the ones I had in the Mustang. This is barely a crash to be honest, I just lightly tapped the barrier because I was fishtailing wildly. This is from before in a free run mode. Just right into the rock, knew it wasn't going to go well. Go through a quick restart. This again hit the barrier. It looks a lot less dramatic than the other one. I thought I'd got away with that one until I just lightly touched it with my rear wheel and then I'm suddenly in the pits. I might have died on that one. The LaFerrari again now. I fly into the bumpier track and just got yeeted into the air and destroyed 3 of my wheels. Hit the barrier, spun round. No point in continuing. So what are my thoughts on the two cars? The Mustang's definitely easier to drive, even if it understeers like an absolute pig. Whereas the LaFerrari is obviously a lot quicker. I think it'd be a lot easier if I could modulate the throttle somewhat and not just have full power or no power. But that's more of a flaw with the game than the car itself. In any case, I really hope you enjoyed the comparison, or at the very least just the crashes. Check out the channel for more content, like, subscribe for more videos every week.